Welcome back to the news at 10. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association and a group of businessmen from Peru are partnering to establish a petroleum and petrochemical refinery in Kogi State. During a visit to the Kogi State Deputy Governor, Ipman said Kogi State was chosen because of its peaceful environment, a factor that will ensure good returns on investments.
Members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria lead a group of businessmen and core investors from Peru, South America, to the official residence of the Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Yomi Awoniyi. Their visit is to officially inform the state government of their intention to set up a petroleum and petrochemical refinery in the state.
It's not only selling petroleum products in filling stations, that we need to do something that will be enduring by way of bringing core investors into Nigeria who will bring in their money, bring in their expertise, and bring in their wealth of experience.
Our business is to industrialize our country, especially where we belong, that is the downstream and upstream of petroleum business in Nigeria.
In our research, we found out that Nigeria supplies the entire West Africa with oil and petrochemicals. And the Kogi State we have chosen because Kogi State is remarkably peaceful.
The plan to site a refinery here is a manifestation of the state government's commitment to create a conducive business environment for investors.
His Excellency is so resolute about attracting investors into Kogi State. We have received quite a few, but when one sees a serious one readily knows. Very, very soon, with the active support of Ipman, the core investors, and the citizens of Kogi State, that we will be having in the next 24 months.
Itobe in Ajaokuta local government area is the host community for the proposed refinery. The project, which will commence soon, is expected to refine 200,000 barrels of crude oil a day.
First Bank.
You're welcome to Business News Tonight. The interbank lending rates climbed to 11.12% today, compared with 10.50% last week. That's after a central bank open market operation drained cash from the system. Traders say the regulator sold open market operation bills worth 415 billion naira, soaking up liquidity from banks and driving up lending rates. According to them, lenders have been unable to access their cash balances with the central bank for the third week, owing to a system glitch, meaning that banks have been dealing with their own cash flows rather than on sector-wide liquidity. The open buyback rate climbed to 10.75% from 10.50% and 1.25% points below the central bank's benchmark interest rate of 12%. Overnight placements also rose to 11.50% as against 10.50% last week. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has said that the deregulation of the oil and gas sector will require the support of the capital market in the areas of fundraising for private companies. The Group Managing Director of the corporation, Mr. Andrew Yakubu, stated this at a sectorial meeting of the CEOs of oil and gas companies quoted to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, while also stressing the need to boost the sectorial market capitalization at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Mr. Yakubu emphasized that the successful privatization of the sector will require the removal of the fuel subsidy.
Given that regulation has several negative effects such as lack of fiscal sustainability, distortion of demands, and principally benefits the rich, proper sensitization is therefore essential by all of us for the complete removal of fuel subsidy, which has continued to stifle investment in the downstream sector. The unbundling of the National Oil Company under the proposed PIB will result in the partial privatization of the unbundled entities. This clearly will have the benefit of increasing the capitalization of Nigerian Stock Exchange. The vibrant oil and gas industry in Nigeria will require the raising of different forms of capital through debt instruments or equity instruments, and therefore giving government pro-reform agenda. The oil and gas industry sees the capital market as a veritable enabler for funding and wealth distribution.
And still moving on from the business scene, the all-share index ended the week on a negative note as sell pressure continued at the Nigerian equities market. The key broad index tumbled by 0.57% to end the day's session at 42,285.65. Bisia Adebayo has the day's closing figures.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. The Nigerian equities market resumed today after a technical hitch hampered trading activities yesterday. The market, however, ended the week in the red as sell pressure dominated this week's trading. The key broad index lost 0.57% to end Friday's session at 42,285.85. Market capitalization also fell back below the 14 trillion naira mark and now stands at 13.96 trillion naira. Total, Mobil and Forte Oil got the cold shoulder from investors. Now, Friday's gainers include Lafarge Wabco, Stanbic IBTC and CCNN. Guaranteed Trust Bank, Dangote Cement and Transcorp were the major contributors to market's volume. When the closing bell rang, volume stood at 536.86 billion units for 26.61 billion naira value in over 7,000 deals. And that's a wrap on the stock market reports. I am Bisia Adebayo.
Thank you, BC, and that wraps it up on Business News Tonight. I'm Loretta Chiogo. It's back to you, Joma, for the rest of the news at 10.
First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10, no agreement yet over a ceasefire to allow for a hitch-free Eid celebration in Gaza and Israel. Stay with us, please.